Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Dr. J.M. and I am Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for all of your lessons at the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT. And I'm going to go ahead and listen to, I think you're doing some voice recordings. Now remember that you don't have to, you're already in class, right? But what you want to focus on is, you remember when you did the pronunciation pretest and I sent you a video telling you to focus on certain lessons, right? Those lessons, maybe I said lesson 8, maybe a lesson 11, maybe 13, and so on. In those lessons that I mentioned, you can send me the voice recording exercises in each of those lessons so I can give you feedback on specific problems that you're having right now with your pronunciation. Now, of course, I'm going to give you feedback on whatever you send me, and I'm going to give you feedback right now on lesson number 10. Okay, so
in the suited embellishment. Number 1. The success of cold reading lies in the suited embellishing selected statements from the reading, with details that make the generalizations appear
with details
more accurate than they are.
And try this word, accurate, that make the generalizations appear more accurate than they are.
Number 2. Both children play the keyboard, but Wolfgang became a violin virtuoso as well.
Okay, this one, I want you to work on the 2 V's there in that word. Violin virtuoso. Repeat after me. Violin virtuoso.
Number 3. The sun has been fusing hydrogen into helium and hence providing us with its radiant energy for 4.5 billion years.
Okay.
And it is expected to continue to do so for another 3 to 4 billion years more.
Okay. Try that word, years. Years.
Number 4. While the Romance family illustrates well the concept of language family, it is also highly unusual in that the ancestral language Latin was a written language that has left us copious records. Yes,
you got it. And then let's go to the last one, number 5 here.
Number 5. The location of nostrils allows the platypus to breathe while the rest of the body remains under the water surface.
And say that last word, surface. Not surface, but surface. Okay, now let's practice these one more time. Now, one of the things I want to work on with you is your tone. You have a tendency to kind of put even tone on all the words, but in English, if you want to speak naturally and sound more like a native speaker, you need to vary your intonation a little more, Dr. M. All right, so as we're doing, I want you to read with me these sentences one more time, and I want you to work at my pace, at my rhythm. So sometimes also when you're reading, you have a tendency to read a little bit too slowly, you pause a little bit too much. So working on your speed and also on your intonation right now. You ready? Number 1. The success of cold reading lies in the sitter embellishing selected statements from the reading with details that make the generalizations appear more accurate than they are. 2. Both children played the keyboard, but Wolfgang became a violin virtuoso as well. 3. The sun has been fusing hydrogen into helium and hence providing us with its radiant energy for 4.5 billion years, and it is expected to continue to do so for another 3 to 4 billion years more. 4. While the Romance family illustrates well the concept of a language family, it is also highly unusual in that the ancestral language, Latin, was a written language that has left us copious records. Number 5. The location of the nostrils allows the platypus to breathe while the rest of the body remains under the water surface. All right, so practice that a few times until you get a little more comfortable with your speed and also with that intonation that needs to be kind of varying. And to give you just a general tip, with intonation, we have to identify thought groups. So if you look at the first sentence, you might pause after the word lies. So you might say, the success of cold reading lies in the sitter embellishing selected statements from the reading with details that make the generalizations appear more accurate than they are. So there were at least 2 thought groups in that sentence. Each thought group, right at the end of the thought group, Doctor, the tone should be a little bit higher, and with the second thought group, the same thing. Now, once I get more accurate than they are, then the tone drops because I'm done with the idea. Okay, now, let's go to the next one. So you're doing the voice recording, I think.
Lesson 10, recording exercise number 2. You
got it. And now let me go ahead and find it myself. Okay, so this is the science.
The wealth of scientific data accumulated during these space flights validate apparent similarities between the effects of space flight and aging.
Now, when you put the effects of space flight and aging, kind of have both of those together, the tone is rising on flight and falling on aging. So then you might say between the effects of space flight and aging. Then you drop when you get to the end.
Glenn will be a test subject for specific investigations which mimic the effect of aging.
Let's try the word not mimic, but mimic. Mimic, and that means imitate. Again, we don't say imitate, but imitate. Mimic. Mimic.
Including loss of muscle mass and bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance.
But when you have those items, you got muscle mass and bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance. So you have A, B, C, D. A, B, and C ideas, the tone should be rising. And then when you get to the last idea, that's when your tone drops. So then I would read it like this. Including loss of muscle mass and bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance. All right, so let's read this one more time. So we have the wealth of scientific data accumulated during these space flights validate apparent similarities between the effects of spaceflight and aging. Glenn would be a test subject for specific investigations which mimic the effect of aging, including loss of muscle mass and bone density, disrupted sleep patterns, a depressed immune system, and loss of balance. All right, so you can practice that one a few more times too. Particularly remember, if you have items, if I say I like apples, bananas, oranges, and lemons. So if you have A, B, C, then D, or A, B, C, E, whatever, whenever you have items in a series, these are all considered thought groups, and the tone needs to rise on every item except the last one. Okay, you're good. Okay, we got that one. Now I'm going to go to your next email also. You sent me one more that I want to listen to. Lesson number 11. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and open and download this one.
Lesson 11, recording exercise number 1.
You got it.
Number 1. In this situation,
okay, I need to find this one. Just give me just a quick second. Got it.
Recording exercise number 1.
This is going to be hard for you. This is hard. This is the two vowels that really marks the accent of Spanish speakers. If you can differentiate between the E and the I, meet, mit, beat, bit, if you can do this, you can largely probably make about a 35% significant improvement in your pronunciation almost immediately.
Number 1. In this situation, you recognize that your teacher has a desire to be respected. No.
All right, take the word be, E, make it a little bit longer. Has a desire to be respected, be.
Number 2. In 1978, the United States Supreme Court declared marriage to be of fundamental importance to all individuals.
Not bad. Let's take the last word, individuals. Individuals.
Number 3. As the plane uses jet engines or even a propeller in some cases to move itself forward, it rushes by the wing.
Pretty good.
Number 4. The pilot must increase engine power, which increases thrust, which increases lift over again, thus making this drop in altitude manual.
Manual, this altitude. And then say the word again, again.
Number 5. Anyone who can read and write can improve the efficiency of their memory.
Yes, not bad. I think you're getting there on this one. So let's go ahead with number 1. In this situation, you recognize that your teacher has a desire to be respected. 2. In 1978, the United States Supreme Court declared marriage to be of fundamental importance to all individuals. 3. As the plane uses jet engines, or even a propeller in some cases, to move itself forward, air rushes by the wing. 4. The pilot must increase engine power, which increases thrust, which increases lift over again, thus making this drop in altitude manual. 5. Anyone who can read and write can improve the efficiency of their memory. All right, now let's take a look, the time machine one. I think this is your next voice recording, am I right? So I'm going to go ahead and download this one.
Lesson 11, recording exercise number 2.
Okay, let's take a look at this one. Here we go.
How would you like to have a time machine?
No, time machine. You're kind of falling back on the Spanish pronunciation of the word time. Not dime machine, but time machine.
That could take you back anywhere over the past 300,000 years. You could see what the world was like when ice sheets 1,000 feet thick blanketed Canada and Northern Europe.
Blanketed.
Or when the Indonesian volcano blew its top in the largest
volcano. It almost sounded like saying volcano, but volcano.
Volcanic eruptions of the last 500,000 years.
All right. Now let's do this one more time. You ready? Let's start from the top. 3, 2, 1. How would you like to have a time machine that could take you anywhere, could take you back anywhere over the past 300,000 years? You could see what the world was like when ice sheets 1,000 feet thick blanketed Canada and Northern Europe, or when the Indonesian volcano blew its top in the largest volcanic eruption of the last 500,000 years. All right? Now, we're not done exactly here. There's one more thing I'd like you to do on this one. So go back to pronunciation lesson number 11. I want you to go right to the beginning and read those pairs of words there, beginning with one where it says meet, mit. I want you to go ahead and read those words if you don't mind. Send that as part of the next voice recording that you send. Now remember that you don't just have to send me lessons 10, 11, and 12. You can send me any lessons you want as they relate to the vowel and consonant sounds in the pronunciation section of the course that you're practicing right now. All right, does that make sense? Now I think we got it. So I just gave you feedback on both pronunciation lesson number 10 and also lesson number 11.